Hey, it's Julius. You've got the Rolling Greed podcast, and this is the news for the week ending May 17, 2025. Some of the headlines this week: the House budget could pull the plug on the EV tax credit, Vermont governor pulls the plug on EV requirements, Hyundai has a flameless battery, a baby Kia is spotted in the U.S., and Toyota adds to its EV lineup. And now the news. House budget could pull the plug on the EV tax credit. House Republicans on Monday proposed scrapping the EV tax incentives and curb ICE emission standards in an effort to pass their tax reform bill. The proposal would remove both the $7,500 new vehicle credit as well as the $4,000 used vehicle credit. Also under threat is the NEVI Charger Funding Program. The program was intended to get chargers installed every 50 miles along major transportation corridors. According to PARN, an EV charging analytics firm, there are currently 75 NEVI-funded sites with 395 ports. This accounts for 0.7% of the total DC fast charging locations across the U.S. Lauren McDonald, chief analyst at PARN, says, "The rich are going to get richer and the poor are going to get poorer," meaning that we're going to see more and more charging stations built in Miami, Atlanta, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Austin, and New York and Boston, not so much in Bismarck, North Dakota. The proposal also cuts funding to loans which would aid automakers' build-out of manufacturing plants. Examples include $9.63 billion to a joint venture between Ford Motor and South Korean battery maker SK On for construction of 3 battery manufacturing plants in Tennessee and Kentucky. $7.4 billion to a joint venture of Chrysler parent Stellantis and Samsung SDI for 2 EV lithium-ion battery plants in Indiana. And $6.57 billion to Rivian for a plant in Georgia to begin building smaller, less expensive EVs in 2028. Tariffs raise insurance rates. You may see your auto insurance rates rise by 10% by the end of the year as a result of the 25% tariff on auto parts. The tariffs on auto parts is forcing manufacturers to raise their prices and, in turn, wholesalers, covering their costs, raising their prices to vendors, who then increase prices when sold to your local repair shop. Matt Brannon, a data journalist for Insurify, says, "When you get into an accident, your insurer often has to pay to replace the auto part. And if an auto part were more expensive because it comes from out of the country, then those costs often get passed on to the consumer. The average popular new car would see about a 15% increase because of tariffs, and in terms of insurance, it would go up about 6% year over year on top of what it was already going to go up." Vermont governor pulls the plug on EV requirements. On Tuesday, Vermont Governor Phil Scott pulled the plug on their zero emissions targets for 2035. Vermont is one of 11 states which had adopted California's zero emission rules. The rules require 35% of light-duty vehicles sold by 2026 to be zero-emission models. Scott cited warnings from automakers that they could limit supply of gas-powered vehicles to dealers in the state because of the EV rules. "It's clear we don't have anywhere near enough charging infrastructure and insufficient technological advances in heavy-duty vehicles to meet current goals," said Scott. Last month, Maryland Governor Wes Moore delayed enforcement of the rules until 2028 model year, citing concerns about tariffs and charging infrastructure funding. North Carolina shares EVs. Charlotte residents can now reserve a Chevy Bolt EV thanks to the Southern Alliance for Clean Energy, the City of Charlotte, and the U.S. Department of Energy's Affordable Mobility Program. The Pepper Tree Apartments, located in an underserved neighborhood in Charlotte, has recently undergone an $8 million renovation. The location acts as a commercial center for nearby neighborhoods. The EV sharing program was an important part of the renovation. Mayor Vi Lyles said in a statement, "By investing in electric vehicle access in our corridors of opportunity, we're giving families the tools they need to reach better jobs, education, and services while building a more sustainable future for Charlotte." The Department of Energy's Affordable Mobility Platform leverages electric vehicles to tackle two needs in one: vehicle access and improving air quality in underserved areas. Hyundai's flameless batteries. Hyundai's manufacturing business, Hyundai Mobis, just announced a new technology that prevents thermal runaway. That's engineer speak for fire. By combining heat-resistant materials with real-time temperature monitoring and voltage sensors, the system can identify an event almost immediately and activate an onboard tank of suppressant to put out the fire. The system doesn't just delay the fire, it's the first technology that will prevent the fire from spreading. Battery safety is a major concern for not only the automotive market, but the energy sector too, as it seeks to increase safety of large battery storage systems, which collect unused energy and store it for later use. Baby Kia spotted in the U.S. The Instagram account @KindleAuto shared a video of a Kia EV3 in the wild somewhere in the U.S. The vehicle is heavily camouflaged, but with a close look, one can make out the front light signature of the EV3. The EV3 is expected to land globally in 2026 and sometime in the future for the U.S. market. Toyota adds to its EV lineup. Toyota has pulled the covers off its latest EVs. The CHR. The compact CHR uses the chassis of the recently refreshed BZ, formerly BZ4X, but is shorter in length and narrower in width. Even though the vehicle size is compact, the car will sport 25.4 cubic feet of cargo space behind the rear seats. The new EV will arrive with 338 horsepower, a Toyota estimated 290 miles of range, and will be able to charge from 10 to 80% in under 30 minutes on a DC fast charger. The car will arrive with a NACS port, that's a Tesla-style connector. Look for the CHR to arrive in 2026. The BZ Woodland. Another new EV from Toyota is the Woodland. Subaru will release a twin dubbed the Trail Seeker. The Toyota Woodland is an off-road inspired design with all-wheel drive and 8.3 inches of ground clearance. An all-terrain tire option will be available. The vehicle is more about getting to a trailhead with your gear rather than running down the trail in the Woodland. It will arrive with 375 horsepower and will be rated for 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. As with all new Toyota EVs, it too will feature a NACS charging port. Busy forks no more. Finally, Toyota has announced a refresh of the BZ4X. The car is now known simply as BZ. It has received new front and rear fascia treatments and gets rid of the black fender arches. The interior has also been revised. The car now offers 338 horsepower, increased range, and a NACS charging port. Audi Safety Score. If you're in the market for a safe two-row SUV, Audi has announced the 2025 Q6 e-tron has earned the Top Safety Pick Plus award from the IIHS, the highest rating awarded by the IIHS. VW leans on Rivian. And finally, cheap cars don't need to be low-tech. In a conversation with Business Insider, Wasim Ben said, Rivian's chief software officer, was quoted saying, "Inexpensive cars shouldn't have low technology, and this is the beauty of the setup that we're enabling through the joint venture." Weisem was referring to the collaboration with Volkswagen on the German automaker using RIVIAN software for the ID.Every1, a small hatchback which Volkswagen has not yet announced if it will arrive in the US. The ID.Every1 is expected to enter the market at $22,500. The software will be used in Rivian's own small car, the R2, which is expected to launch in 2026. The use of Rivian software in the ID.Every1 will allow Volkswagen to lower production costs. That's the news for this week. Green Car Geek News is published weekly on the Rollin Green Podcast. You can subscribe to the Rollin Green Podcast. Just search for Green Car Geek on Substack, Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube.